So we went through this idea about the chosamos. And so the last time we read this one, V'chasedu hu shetachila, we're on page Taf Reish Lamed Tes. So he said, V'chasedu hu shetachila k'shenimshachim l'cha b'aretz hamochim ma'akre zeranpeh. So now the mochin that are coming into the nukva and building her are going to come from the backside of Zeranpin, through the nekev in his chest. Now, Kaf base oses b'shutus, and he says that something that you need to know to understand the Rishash. He says these are the 22 letters that will represent the Chasanim. Nivdach b'binyan gufach b'sod atbach, using the atbach which we've seen in the Rishash. So using that, building her up. And so all of these mochin that are coming in, and he says what? He says let me just see. It makes the clear yisod the nuk. It's a dalet, it's a door. Dalet is also the word dalet. Vitzir should be itself, so it's a dalet vitzir, it's a hinge. Should be so. Now there has to be some significance to that, because there's lots of other ways to get to 22, but this is what he wants to say. It's a yud, which is swinging, or in some way, a vav, or two vavs. Or it's resting on one vav, it's a hinge, and it's swinging the other one. So the kaf base, and that's also the gematria kaf base, because it's a fact that in fact that is what's coming into her. This is the concept of the first seal, Hanikra Yerushalayim, which is called Yerushalayim. And then he comes over and he said, which are mansapach, so the light, the radiance that's coming from, there's another five gevuros, or five letters. That's the mansapach. So he says, which are the gevuros now in this story? They're the concept of her mochin. This is the man that's in her yisod. Now we have a note down at the bottom, number hey. So he says, number hey says like this: L'gabe mashud is boyer kan, the tikkun kli yisod shalanuk naasa yedech chasadim. So first of all, it says it's coming from chasadim. The chorach habiyesh the haksha, but you can see over here there's a problem. So he says where Midrash Yud, Midrash Alayla, Midrash Tikkun Latzos, which I guess we'll get back to. Tikkun Klira Yisod Shalanuk Naasa Yedech Gevuros, not from Chasadim. So we have to look at it more closely. He says V'chatu Tshuva Zahi Shechasadim V'Gevuros Amurim Kan. They all come from the Mocha Devima. We're talking about everything coming from the Mocha Devima. So if you look at it, generally speaking, everything that comes from Ima is going to have an aspect of Ben in it. Ben is going to be dominant. But even so, this is going to be the Mada Ben. Something like that. Which come from the Mocha the Abba. Because the Mocha and the Abba are, generally speaking, right-sided, and they're always chasadim. Of a klalos, and generally speaking, we say shahare kodem achiluf, hachasadim the iba b'choyu gevurus the Abba. There used to be the gevurus the Abba, which was the ma the ben, or the ben the ma, whichever, but it's a mixture of the two, but they were from the Abba side. We talked about that previously. Nimsa she'afshe tikun klira yisod na'asa ayetech chasadim. So it comes out that they're also made by the chasadim, but the chasadim are the gevuros. Because macham b'chasadim halalu chaim chelik b'bechidas the gevuros. V'shaver amrinan she'klira yisod the nuk nisaken ayetech gevuros. But we have that phrase that it's the saken of the gevuros, because in fact it's coming from Ima. It's on the left side. Let's go over and let's go a little bit more, and let's see a little bit more. Let's just see how my time is working here. Okay. So he said, then after this, he said, so now that we've gone through this and we've built up the nook, we brought into her the 22 letters, which represents the chesed side, because now we're seeing that the rule is that there are always opposites in everything that we talk about. So he said that from Ima, so there's a chesed side of Ima which is 22, and there's a gevura side of Ima which would be like more like a ben would be the 5 letters of the Mansapach. This has happened. Now actually the essence of the light of the whole 27 comes into her. And the general category of the Chasadim, which is the Kaf Beis Oses that we mentioned, which are the Peshutim, which we mentioned previously. Naasa Dalet Delet V'tzir Shneim B'Yisoda. Now that they're coming in directly, just getting the Atzmos of the light. So he says the first Dalet, the first door, became a result of a Ha'ara, the Ha'ara of the 22 and the 5. But now you're getting the juice of the 22 and the 5, not a Ha'ara anymore. You're getting the whole thing. And now it makes another Chosim. So now we have Yerushalayim and Sion. So then they have this concept here now, what's happening out of the Manzapach, which is the Gevuradika aspect of the Gevuradika side, the Ben. This is now going to become the pleader. I'm just trying to describe what Manzapach is. The Manzapach, not Manzapach, what Man is. That Man is you've now reached the very bottom, and there's nothing there. And so therefore this brings out the appeal of the man to go upwards and to find a solution. My words. Now what happens now is that the second chosim now also remains in the yisod, but doicher as a chosim rishon, and it pushes the second chosim, the original chosim, al hamalchus hapratis the nuk, into the malchus of the nuk, shui ateres yisoda. So it pushes it all the way down. Now, let's see exactly what he hasn't said that the second chosim comes in yet. So he said, V'nimsa, so now you push, so as a result of the entrance of all of these, of all of the juice of the, that's coming from Ima, the actual, the actual juice of it, I guess I'm using that word. Nimsa sheklicha yisod, and nuk nisakeim, b'yitechem b'shtechem shachol shalakot beis osius, so this was to say like this, the 22, but he said just 22 here. So the two of them together, they're going to build for what comes from Zer Anpin and what comes from Ima directly. They're going to build the Kli Shalom v'Chabaman Sheb'Yisod Nimshach Gam Hu B'Shnei Shachos Amansapach Zer Anpin Ume'ima. Let me say that again. The man should be said that the man, where did that come from? Gam hu b'shtei shachos. It comes from 2 different shachos of the mansapach, mizer anpin ume'ima. That's an important point that he wants to make. Is he said the first chosim is made from the ha'ar of zer anpin, and the second chosim is made from ima, where the essence of her light is actually coming in. Because now we have both of them coming in. It's an asa bechinas mem stuma kazeh, and that's what it looks like now. Now this is takes a lot of I think some imagination to understand how exactly what this formation of the mem stuma is supposed to mean, but it means the ultimate seal. Let's see if we could do just a little bit more. Try. So Bia Rishona. So the first yichud. He said in the Bia Rishona the hamshachas kli v'rucha la'achar shenishlam tikun partzufi ha'ach dezun ayedecha b'mocha da'ach. So we've been dealing. It was not complicated enough that we're dealing only with the acharayim. So the acharayim of Ima is bringing all this juice into the nook. So he mizdaving zun zivug rishon l'nikra bia rishona. What happens is that it causes, and you're still dealing with the acharayim, it causes a yichud to take place between zachar and nuk. Ve'in yanu hu lahamshech as bechinas harucha l'chisod the nuk. What's the idea? is to bring the concept. Now, I'm not sure where this came from, this word. Hulahamshik as bechidas ruach, the aspect of this ruach that's coming into her, the yisod hanok. Now, we're assuming that the ruach is masculine, going for zer anpin. It's making it possible. This is my explanation. What's the word ruach go with? A rucha. So again, the inyanu hu lahamshich as bechinas harucha l'chayisod the nook into the yisod of the nook. Shekol she'al yedei zed tihiyah muchana she'll be prepared l'biach ha'ikris shehi biach shniya l'holeda. So from this, the first one brings a ruach into her. The ruach comes from the male aspect, from Zeranpin. And now she's going to be in a position where that's a yichud takes place. But a yichud can only take place if there is the mochim of intimacy, which is the mochim of panim. It's not possible for them to actually have a yichud where they're at. Why? Because we're afraid that in the place that they're at normally, which is below the chazer, we would say the chazer lamata. Okay, so therefore, so therefore Abba and Ima are able, doesn't say how they're able, he says they're able, to be able to bring them up to their place. Besod chuppah, they surround them like a chuppah, like a wedding canopy. V'sham mikabelas mochin upon him, and there they receive the mochin upon him, because now they're in a level at which the mochin upon him are free and not worried about the other side. Mizdavkim sham zun zivug debir rishona. The be'es hazivug knows since they're unpin and look as a mochin dema de ben, and he gives her. Let's go over this. We're going to read it in detail next time. So he's like the noisen zachad the nook as a mochim the ma de ben. That is the male aspect of ben, or you could say it's the female aspect of ma, depending on how you're looking at it. V'hem nekroyim bezoyer chai rucha deshadi ba bailu. So he says this ma de ben is this male, this mixture of male and female. That's what goes into her, and it causes, that is the rucha that goes into her. It's a ma. But it's a ma that's destined for the nukva. So he said, he said, v'hem nekroim bezoher hai rucha deshadi ba bailu. Okay, one more line, and then we'll go try to get over to the next part. So he said, la'achar mikan, after this, chozin v'yordim zun lamata. Chazun go back down below to their original place, which is from the, let's say, from the Chaz of Lamata, or maybe she's already up at the same whole height as Zeran Ben, I don't know. Now her backside is completely built. She now goes on the backside of her face. I'm not sure that phrase, how to translate it. She goes over to stand, achre, behind the kumas haponim shalah, behind the column of her ponim. So she's now in a relationship with her ponim shalah, who umeda b'tzad the ponim de zer anpin, which is located where? It's on the side of the face of zer anpin. So let's say that she's facing, I'm trying to understand how this figures, so just imagine two columns then, he says, and they're facing each other. But she, that is her ponim, is facing the ponim as their anpin. But she herself is in a position, as he's going to say, of being just a dot. But she's going around, and she's going to be now on the backside of the column of the ponim. V'kumas haponim shelo he ataradayim besod nukuda achas. It's still just one dot. Okay, we'll stop right there and get more into the detail of that in the next